Welcome to the August edition of Lights Camera Louis, obviously with Gaffer Louis Bland. Obviously today we're going to be discussing both the Long Eaton fixture for the under-19s and the Horncastle fixture for the 23s. But first, just obviously welcome back from started pre-season on the 26th of July. How's that gone so far?
Yeah, it's good to get back. Obviously, we didn't really have a long off because obviously we finished the season with the cup final against West Ham in about the 30th of June, I think it was. So we only had about 3 or 4 weeks off, but obviously it's good to get back to it because obviously everyone wants to be in and playing football. So yeah, it's been good.
And big changes around the place with 18 new recruits, 17 joining the first year programme, and then Zach Kersey joining from YCDS in Newark, joins our second years. How well have they settled in?
Yeah, really well, to be fair. Obviously, I coached quite a lot of them under 16s last year, so I know the majority, and then the ones that have come in that we weren't really aware of personality wise. Yeah, they've settled in really well with the group. Everyone gets on. That's been part of what we've done over the last 2 or 4 years, is we made sure everyone's together, because we are all striving to do one thing, and that's obviously to progress in football. And we all need help with each other, so they've done really well. So it's been nice to see how well and how quickly they've all gelled together.
And it must be really rewarding to see the academy programme working well to progress to the scholarship, to see that progression through the ranks. How important is that for a club like Grantham Town?
Yeah, no, obviously that's super important. It's been nice, you know. I know we're going to touch upon, I think, the 23s a little bit later, but you know, I think the boys that started for the 23s last week, I think there was about 7 or 8, or in the squad maybe 9, that had been through all the younger age groups, so your 14s, your 15s, your 16s. So that's super nice. It's important. It shows the work being done below us is also showing how well we run the academy by having real good coaches in the younger age groups, and then they transpire learning how to play in the way that we want to play with our philosophies that will come in.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so on to yesterday's game against Long Eaton. Obviously, first pre-season friendly for the under-19s. Saw 22 different players. A lot of those were those new recruits. Missing some big players as well in Cole, Bath, Cox, Ashton, Baker, Big Svinney and Harris, but still managed to win the game. How important are victories in pre-season, even at this early stage?
It's always tough. Pre-season's always tough because obviously the main objective of pre-season is to make sure obviously you get minutes into legs and stuff, and everyone gets used to the way we want to play. What was really pleasing is we worked on patterns of play and the way we want to go and score goals and create chances in the attacking way. And I thought there was a couple of them that came out that we worked on, which is always pleasing. The performance was good, and the pleasing aspect was, like I said, the patterns of play that we've worked on previously over the last couple of days had just started to come out. We're not expecting the finished product by the first pre-season game, but by the end, obviously, we want to be seeing them come out a lot more. But it was nice for the first 90 minutes of the season to see them come out as much as they did.
Yeah, and I thought in particular the first 30 minutes we seemed very strong and controlled the game to some extent. Obviously Harry Johnson arriving in the box, nearly got a tap in at the back post, made a similar run into the box, clearly fouled, and then Skinner stepping up to take the penalty. Must be good for him to hit the ground running as well.
Yeah, Skin's a goal scorer, and there's no better feeling for a goal scorer to score goals, no matter if it's pre-season or you know, for the 19s or for the 23s or when he's played for the first team. You know, he's scored at every level so far this season in pre-season, so that just shows the sort of player he is. He'll score goals regardless of where he goes. It's about us creating chances, like you alluded to there, with Jono making those runs. Something again we've worked on over the past couple of years. We're just slightly off a little bit with the timing, but that's something that we'll work on with him. But you know, the pattern of play that we worked, it was very similar to a goal we scored right at the end of last season against Base, where we worked it from one side to the other, got out to the other side, whipped the ball in. And there was a chance, I think, in the base game, I think Caesar scored from it, and then obviously we got the pen on Wednesday.
Yeah, and so Long Eaton new to the league, obviously tested themselves of who we believe are probably the best in the league. How well did they do in the game? They were tough opposition.
Yeah, they tested us. They were quite similar to us. They had a lot of players on show as well. So I think obviously what had happened is they'd mixed the two sides like we did. A lot of new recruits I think they had as well in the second half team. But the first half I think was quite competitive. Like you say, first 30 I think we really controlled it. There was nothing really much going on in the game apart from us having a little bit of possession of the ball. We created a few chances, and then obviously we had a little bit of a few mistakes that led to their goal. Good finish from the lad, and then after that 15 minutes, I felt they probably had a 15-minute period where they were probably on top, and apart from that, I felt we were quite comfortable. But yeah, a really good side. Obviously, they're in our Alliance League, so we'll obviously come up against them at some point, well, twice in the season at least. So they're a good test. I think they'll really push us strong. They're a good side, and look forward to seeing them next time we play.
Yeah, and as you say, Long Eaton had a good spell towards the end of the first half, and going in at half time at 1-1. To change the game, you obviously made a series of substitutions, I think 7 or 8 at half time, and then I think you made 4 more with 30 minutes to go. The boys that came on, so obviously Wedgewood played out wide left. Obviously we've known him more in central roles, but I think during his development he's been playing elsewhere in men's football to get minutes, and you give him a chance out wide, and obviously to score 2. Header at the back post, again a well worked goal, and then a free kick. What did you think to him?
Jai I've had him he came to me when I was coaching obviously in the younger academy at under 14, so I've had him for 3 years already, so I know what he can do. He's an animal, to be fair. What is he, 6'2", 6'3" at least already? He's been that size for a couple of years. Obviously, like you say, he's away at the moment, playing football for a men's side. He's done really well. I know him pre-season for him, playing on the left-hand side. To be fair, he probably is a centre mid, but I think he can do a job. He's quite versatile. I think he can do a job up front. I think he can do a job off the left, off the right. He's just a good versatile player. Strong, powerful, great left foot on him. And what he's done for the past 3 years that he's been playing for me is he always scores goals. He's always got at least above 10 every single season, which is an unbelievable achievement for a midfielder, because he played centre mid for me. To score 10 plus goals every season is fabulous. And again on Wednesday he started off really well with 2 goals.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be a very good addition for us. Another one that looked to have a very good game out on the right was Jordan Hatton. For a relatively unknown person from me, I've not seen a lot of Jordan, but he came on and really staked a claim in a position where we are already strong in wingers. Yeah,
Jordan, again, we've had him for 2 years. Obviously he's been in the worst 2 years possible because of obviously the COVID situation and stuff, but yeah, he did really well. He come on, he's aggressive, he runs at players, he's quick, he's powerful, got good dribbling, everything we want from our wingers, and it adds to what we've already got in our winger department with obviously Kai and Ant and Jono, and we've got a couple of others, young lads who have just come in as well to test it. He did really well. He ran at his guy, and what we're trying to get on the wingers is we want them to try and get 1v1. We want them to try and be aggressive and not worry if they get tackled once or twice. It's the end product we're looking for. The third, fourth time you get crosses into the box and get shots off. You probably should have won a pen as well. But I think with all the wingers, what we've got to do with them is make sure we get their numbers to a top level. All of them have tremendous ability, but we need to see goals and assists from all of them, because for the ability they have, they don't score enough goals or get enough assists for what they could potentially produce.
Okay, super. And obviously, so that we've alluded to 3 of the 4 goals. The 4th was from a corner. Obviously, Grantham being a threat out wide. Long Eaton had to concede several corners to us. I think it was over 10 in the end. One of them, obviously, we won and scored with Skinner getting the tap in the right place at the right time, or a good work corner.
Set pieces are important. We all know that. We all know how dangerous they can be, and if you can score set pieces, it gives you an opportunity in the game. We'll score a lot for open play, but if you can chip him, I think we chipped him. I think last season, I think Trav got 3 or 4 goals, and Johannes got a couple from centre half. Cisa got a couple. So we score goals from centre halves, and that's important. And even that goal, I think the goal, I can't remember who got the first contact to it. We got first contact to it, and then Skins just stood in front of the keeper and swivels and scores, which Skin, like I alluded to earlier in this interview, just in the right place at the right time all the time, and that's where he gets his 20 plus goals a season, because he's in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm. And you alluded to some of the players there that obviously weren't involved in today's game. Some through illness, some through injury, but several of those have been involved with the 23s on Saturday. Obviously a very difficult fixture against Horncastle to open the season. Always been a very strong side in that league. I think we drew 2-2 the end of last season against them. Obviously came out 2-0 victors. How positive is it for them young men to start for the 23s, or be involved with the 23s and to record a victory?
So I mean, with the 23s this season, what we've done is we've gone a lot younger. So all of the boys have been through the scholarship system now, which just allows it. They understand the way we want to play. They've played together for 3 or 4 years. It's their chance to go and progress. I think the oldest player was 20 on Saturday, so it's not, even though it's 23s, it's more like a 21s. It's nearly in the 19 side in the men's league. So what we're sort of trying to test them, the better players in the 19s will go and step into the 23s. So on Wednesday they'll get tested technically, and then obviously Saturday they'll get tested physically. We know we're going to lose games at that level. It's a fact. We're gonna get bullied. We're gonna get dominated in some games physically, but it's going to be a good test to see who can deal with it and who can sort of mature a little bit on the physical side, and then hopefully with good performances can step into our first team.
Brilliant. And for Horncastle, who are traditionally a strong side in that league, both physically and can play, to go and get the win with 9 players missing, I believe you had. How important is it to start off with a win?
We said that because the thing is, I think there's 18 teams in the Links League this season, so that obviously equates to 34 games. You start off with a draw or a defeat, and then the next, like, we've got a game tomorrow. You don't win that, and then you're searching for your first win to get 3 points on the board after the first game's super important. It gets you off to a good start, and it just gives you something to build on for the next couple of weeks.
And as you said previously about players progressing, obviously Righty, who scored the first goal, has been superb for us through the scholarship programme. Local lad. He's now graduated from the scholarship and moved into the 23s. Could you give us a little bit about his goal and his performance on the day, please?
Yeah, Righty was superb last Saturday. He's so direct. The pace he's got is frightening. I think he's probably the quickest player with the ball. He's so dynamic in what he does, and he was unbelievable on Saturday. And his goal was something that obviously the patterns of play that we've worked on a little bit had come out. With Skin just dropping a little bit deeper to get on the ball and Righty making that running behind. We've worked on it, and Righty's one-on-one and a good finish into the corner. Yeah,
it's great to see Wright continue his development with the 23s. With the second goal, Matt McBride, I believe, was a great finish from distance. Obviously, Matty, still a young man, should be with a scholarship for another few years. How much has he improved recently, and how much would you expect him to be involved with the 23s this year?
Yeah, Matt's a top player. He's so dynamic. He wins the ball back. His regains are unbelievable. His technical side of the game's improving at every session that we do. Very rarely gives the ball away now, which is important for us. And like I say, he's been now on this process. He's going into his 3rd year on the scholarship, and hopefully with performances like he produced last Saturday, he'll be involved in the majority of the starting lineups if he continues to play like that for the 23s as well.
Yeah, and his goal, he tells me, was a cracker. What do you think?
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. Daft tried to claim the assist for a mishit shot, and Matt strikes it, I think, left foot, which obviously is weaker side, his left foot into the bottom corner from 25 yards out. It was a little bit of a grass cut. I don't think the keeper could have quite seen it, and he just reached the bottom corner, but Matt doesn't score many, so he'll take that. Yeah,
I think he plays, obviously, with a slight formation change to what we've been used to. He's probably playing slightly higher up the pitch, and it's good for him to get some positive reward higher up there as well. Not just the goals, obviously keeping a clean sheet in men's football gives you a big chance in football in general. Speaking to a few of the Horncastle players afterwards, Travis Cox in particular was superb. Could you give us a little bit on his performance, please?
Trav's again a very, very good player. He's one of them who's been in the younger academy and developed right through the scholarship. He's into his 3rd year as well. And it's the first time he's played 23s football in a competitive sense. We tried to get him in last year, but unfortunately he was working quite a lot on Saturdays. He's changed that around this year so he can play, and I think it's important for his development because he's going to be playing against men. He's a really good player, obviously, at under 19s level, and it's probably a little bit, it doesn't test him as much as probably it should do, and the men's game's going to put him on. He was fabulous defensively, didn't make one mistake. His distribution with the ball has always been very good, but it was superb. I very rarely gave the ball away. Good passes into midfield, good diags on what we'd worked on as well. Really, really good. And defensively, like I said, he didn't put a foot wrong, even if we had a little bit of a blip from one of maybe the other lads. He was the one who was probably the most solid out of the players that played in the defence on Saturday.
And finally for me, goalkeeper Kyle Cole. Probably pushed 50-50 with the 19s between him and Goodwin. You gave Kyle an opportunity with the 23s. Started off with a clean sheet. Obviously, it's a good way to go. Do you see him continuing that, or where do you see his development over the next year?
Yeah, so Kyle, again, another one who's come through the younger academy, so we've seen him develop for the last 3 or 4 years. He's into his second year, like I said, on the scholarship now. He's done really well. He last year when we came in pre-season, it was between him and Jamie who was going to be the number one. Kyle just edged it. Jamie came in at certain points last season, did really, really well, and they'll push each other again. And then we've got a couple of other keepers that have come in from the 16s, Ollie and Luca, that will push them on a little bit further, and make that competition a little bit stronger. Kyle learning to get better. He's a young lad. He's learning all the time. He's got a lot to learn, but what he's got so far is a great grounding. Works incredibly hard every single day. Physical size is there to be. And on Saturday, he had one save to make at a crucial time. I think about 10 minutes to go, they whipped a set piece in the box. It was one of them goal mouth scrambles, and he's just, their guys had a shot from about 5-10 yards out, and he's just squashed it straight away and made himself big. And that goal goes in, it's 2-1 with 10 to play. You never know. So that's what keepers are there for. Majority of the time in our teams, keepers don't really have much to do, but when they're called upon, they have to do what they're asked to do, and that's what he did on Saturday, and he's done really well. And it's now about him keep progressing and trying to make that step forward, because he's been involved with the first team in pre-season, was on the bench against Scunthorpe and Kettering, so the opportunity, you can see the pathway that's there for the young lads in the academy. Yeah,
and it is very clear to see with the new regime that there's definitely going to be opportunities for the young boys to progress into not only obviously on the training pitch, but to be getting minutes at higher levels. Do you think that is something that we're going to see more and more of as the club grows in the next few years?
Yeah, since the gaffer and his coaching staff have come in, they've been quite clear, regardless if they're 16, 17, 18, if they're good enough, they're going to be in. I think we've had about 7 or 8 in pre-season that have been given opportunity. I think there's been a few 1-year contracts that potentially have been offered out as well, which is exciting. But the opportunity is there if they're good enough. If they do really well for us, the gaffer's going to have a look at them. He said that to me. He's on the phone all the time to me asking, how's this player done? How's this player done? Is this guy quite ready? And sometimes the answer's no, but sometimes the answer's yeah, give him a go. Let's see what he's like in training, and it's good to see. It means these lads have something to strive towards, because even though we've done really well and we're quite successful as an academy, there's nothing like playing for the first team in front of 200, 300, 400 people, and that's what everyone's here to strive to. That's our job as a group of coaches, to get them into that level, and it's nice to see the pathway is there.
Yeah, and as you say, very, very exciting times for the club, especially for these young men who are very keen to progress. Good start to the season, mate. So it's 1 win for the 23s on the league board, and obviously first pre-season game won. So well done, Louis. Thank you very much.